For this bench procedure, we are going to need a few tools. Big tools to remove the pins, stubby screwdriver to remove small screws like these ones, a 3 out of 32 inch drill bit to get more access to pins, a magnifier, and that should be it. First, remove this connector. Use your pick tool in this hole. Depress this and then pull it up. Then remove the screws with your stubby screwdriver. Immobilize the ECU. Has 2 screws. I put this on the right, and this is the immobilizer ring. Has 2 screws. Once you remove them, this is the lock cylinder. Now we need to remove a pin. This lock cylinder is held by a pin, which is right there. So this is the pin for which a device, a tool was manufactured in order to remove this. I purchased that tool, but it broke at the first try. So I'm going to use the old-fashioned method to remove it. It's not the most aesthetic, but it works. So I'm going to drill on the side of this hole to make some space between the pin and just make an extra space right next to the pin. Then I use my pick tool and then I pry slowly. It takes some time. It seems like it's not coming out, but eventually it comes out. Once that is out, this is gonna slide out. And after it slides out, there's another pin that we're gonna have to remove to be able to disassemble the interior of the lock. So this is the actual tool that allows you to remove the pin. It's just for information purpose. This is the tool that allows you to remove the pin, and so I'm pretty sure that some people have had great success with this, but not me. This is what you're supposed to use to remove that pin. First time I used it, I broke it, so I'm not using this anymore. But this was just to show you what it is. So I'm gonna leave this here. A couple of other stuff I needed. This is a Honda wafer kit. So basically, once you remove this, one of the most effective way to fix this lock is to actually replace all the wafers. You will find 6 wafers within 6 or 8, can't remember, or 12. You can just read the numbers of the wafers and then replace all of them. This is the most durable repair that you can do on this. But depending on the situation that you're facing, you might not have to do that. Say for example, the customer doesn't want to pay for the right service and tells you to just do the cheapest thing possible, then you can decide to just remove the wafer that is causing problem, which is what I'm going to do in this case. Another solution is to just replace the lock cylinder with another one, an aftermarket one like this one. It comes with, it's a lock cylinder for Honda, Acura, and comes with a key. This key doesn't have a transponder, but you can duplicate the key, and then, you know, after installing this in the housing, you're gonna have to program the new key to it. But the inconvenience about this is customer is gonna have to use two keys, one for the door and another one for the ignition, which is not the best. But you know, some customer don't care. They just want the thing to work, and you know, whatever. So customer is king. Whatever the customer asks you to do, that's what you do. So let's go ahead and continue with this. I'm going to drill that hole. It's not going to be on camera, and then I'm going to put it on camera after it's done. I got my magnifier on so I can take a closer look at this pin. Looking at it like this, I can see it very well, and so I'm going to remove it. So I started drilling first with a 1/16 of an inch because it's smaller, and then I drilled a bit more with a 32/32 of an inch. All right, so this is our hole. Just a little bit to the side. Not sure if it's visible, but then insert the pick on the side and then pry out until it comes out. I'm telling you, you need some patience because it's gonna feel like it's not even moving, but eventually it's gonna come out. So after a few minutes of prying, you can see that the pin, trying to focus on this. See how the pin came out? And the lock is almost out. You can see the lock start to come out. Just a few pries here again, and then it will give out. I just had to pry one more time, and the pin is completely out. Here's the pin. Now I'm going to remove the lock. In order to remove the lock, insert the key, because once you insert the key, all the wafers will retract and are supposed to be all flushed with the cylinder, and then you'll be able to pull it out like that. Pay attention, this spring goes at the end. Pay attention of how you remove it so you can put it back the same way. That spring is independent. It goes around this. right there. So I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to place it here. Now looking for the second pin, we are going to remove this plastic, which is holding this rod. Remove this plastic by prying, and then remove this rod altogether. Pay attention of how it is installed. And then the second pin will be located here. This is our second pin right there. This is the second pin. And let me tell you how we're gonna remove that. This is the key code. This is the key code. For this vehicle, the key code is going to be M as in Mary 293. It's the last 4 digits, starting with a letter and 3 numbers. So I see a M as in Mary 293, but we don't need that right now. All we're gonna have to do is just remove the pin. Once you remove the plastic cap, there will be a small spring, which is right there. So if you are not very organized like me, you can put it in order. This way you know how you removed it and reinstall in order. So first the cap, then the spring, and then the rod. I'm going to put right there. And then now the pin. In order to remove this pin, we are going to come, let's call this downstairs. We are going to come here upstairs and drill a hole that falls directly over the pin through here. And for that purpose, we are going to use our 3/32 of an inch to drill. And then once it's drilled, we can use any metal rod. This, for example, insert in the hole and then tap on top to drive the pin downward so it can come out this way. So this is drilled out. This is our hole right there. This is our hole, well drilled out, and under is the pin. And this is the pin in this corner. And so we are going to access it from the top. You can use an Allen, a very small Allen, it will fit over there. Or you can use a small rod just like this. So I'm going to show you what it is. All right, so this is our rod, and it goes through the hole, and straight on top of the head. And then all you have to do is tap and get it out through the bottom. So just a few taps, and this is our second pin. Second pin, first pin. And as you can see, the rod is out the bottom. So now we are going to remove the lock from the housing. Don't forget to remove that piece in the back. It comes outward this way. And then remove, keep the key inside and then remove the whole thing like that. Okay, so these are the wafers. Now we are going to look for the wafer that caused problem. Sorry for my autofocus. I'm gonna try to clean my lens and see if it's better. And here's our problem. There's a wafer sticking out. This right there, this wafer sticking out is the one causing the problem. So all you have to do is pass your finger on top of the, I call this, on top of the surface, and whichever one sticking out is the problem. So I am going to remove this with a small plier, and then after that I'm going to loop the lock and then operate it to make sure that it doesn't get stuck anymore. And if you remember, in the car it wasn't turning at all with this worn out key. So this is what we are going to do to perform the test. If it turns with this, then it should turn with everything else. It turns mostly with this. Once in a while it'll get stuck. I would say half and half with this, but it doesn't turn with this. Since this is the most extreme case, I'm going to use this to do my test every time. So let me go ahead and remove that wafer. So like I was saying earlier, the proper way to fix this problem permanently is to replace all these wafers with brand new wafers. The other way to repair it is to remove that sticking wafer. Make sure there's no other sticking wafer. Relube everything, test it, put it back. Customer will still be using the same key and the same ignition. The last way to fix this problem is to use a brand new cylinder. But the inconvenience is the customer is going to use a different key in ignition than the key in the door. But it is possible to use the brand new ignition and rearrange the wafer so it matches the door. This is called rekeying. So this is the bad wafer right here. This is the bad wafer.